Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel.
Today I decided to
Start a fire in my fireplace and tell you guys some creepy stories. So the first story that I'm going to be telling you guys tonight is the house that I lived in at 6 years old to 13. And the fire is getting really big. So when I was 6 years old, we moved into this house, obviously, and we had this basement. And it was just odd. It was just creepy. It always gave me creepy vibes. I did not like being down there by myself, like ever. And I don't know why. Like it was just this unexplainable feeling that I've always had growing up in that house. So one day, my brothers and I think it was my brothers, a friend of mine that I grew up with, and but we were playing around in the basement, just chilling, and there's this back room, and that was the worst. Like, that was the thing that creeped me out. It was always dark and just, like, a confined space, and there was just something about it that just seemed off. Like, I could not explain it. But now, growing up, I realize it was probably paranormal. You can believe what you want, but I'm just saying. So, long story short, we go into this crawl space because we're curious and we want to be adventurous, right? So we start crawling, and the crawl space, an adult can't get in there. Like, you can get into the first spot because it's like there's this square that's cut out into the wall, and then you go in, and then there's this window, like it shines light in from like outside, but it's like you can't see out of it or in it, and there's just a big open space. But if you're little like we were, you can crawl through this little compartment around the entire room. And it was gross. It had cobwebs and everything. It was just gross. Don't know why we did it, but we did. So we were crawling through this crawl space, and one day it was just my friend and I, and she having to find a couple things like on in the open area of the crawl space, because we thought we were detectives back then. We always wanted to make like mysteries and stuff. So that's what we did. Sorry if it gets a little loud. So we found a button, and it was black and white. It was stripes. I remember it was black and white, like little tiny stripes. And then I found a zipper, and there was a newspaper clipping that was like cut out, and I don't remember what it said on there for the longest time. It probably wasn't even anything, to be honest, but I just thought it was weird and random how those little things were in there. But I mean, it could have been like another little kid or anything, you know, like anybody could have went in there. So fast forward, because we didn't really think too much about it, because obviously why would we? And things started to happen in our house every once in a while that were really creepy. Like, our toys would turn on and off by themselves in the middle of the night, and it was really eerie, and it was kind of annoying, to be honest, because it was always late at night. And I remember I had this Brat Doll car. It was like this big blue Brat Doll car. So shout out and comment below if you had one of those, because I remember I had a working radio. If you put like AAA batteries in the back of the trunk, and it would play the radio and stuff. And like, I thought it was like the coolest thing. And like the lights, like the actual headlights of the car would turn on and off by themselves. Well, that would come on and off by itself a lot, and it didn't have batteries in it anymore. It'd be a battery taken out of the car, so it can't work fully on its own. And it would do that. It would make this really, really loud noise like that for a long time. We had to go and like mess with the car more and like try to turn it off like every once in a while, because it would just turn on and it would just wake us up in the middle of the night. Yeah, it would wake us up in the middle of the night, and it was so freaking creepy. And then my brother's toy trucks would turn on and off sometimes. I don't remember what other toys would turn on. But I know that was I remember that happening. So there was one night where I was up late, probably watching TV, and my brothers were sleeping, because we had a bunk bed, and I would be on the top and they would be on the bottom bunk. And there's vents. There's a vent, like, our bedroom would be one, like, one side of the wall, and the other side of the wall was the bathroom. And our door always stayed open, so they were right next to each other. So whatever was going on in the bathroom, you can hear it from our room. Because their doors are like this, like the corner, like this would be the bathroom and this would be our bedroom door. So like they were right next to each other. But one night from the bathroom vent, I would hear humming. Like there was a little girl. It sounded like a little girl's humming. And it scared the crap out of me. But I ignored it. Because I'm like, I watch so many scary movies. It's probably what it is. It had to be that. So I ignored it and eventually fell asleep. So I just tried to ignore that and get past that. And then one day, me and my brothers, we were sitting, well, it was just me and my brother, Randy. My other brother, he was in the kitchen. He was young. He was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And my other brother was probably 7 or 8. And me and my brother Randy, we were talking in our bedroom. We were playing and talking, and we were trying to spook each other. I was telling him about what me and my friend found in the crawl space. We were talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I found stuff too," but I'm pretty sure he was just trying to scare me. And he was trying to be all creepy. He was like, "Yeah, there's a ghost down there. Somebody's down there, and there's some paranormal thing down there." And I'm just like, "Yeah, right. You're so funny. You're just trying to scare me. I'm not stupid." And he was like, "No, there really is. Something's in that crawl space." And when I kept saying, no, I'm, doubting him because I'm like, "You're just trying to scare me." Obviously, me being the big sister, I'm not going to let my little brother scare me. I was like, "No. I'm not stupid." And right when we're in the middle of, arguing back and forth about the basement and something being down there, when I said no, there was a huge bang, and it sounded like either the washer or the dryer, the door slammed down really, really hard, and you heard it through the house. Don't know how my parents didn't wake up, because they were sleeping in the living room. Don't know how they didn't wake up, but they didn't. And when that happened, it spooked us. I was like, "What was that?" And Randy was like, I don't know, but I told you that there's something down there. I wasn't joking." We go to my other brother, who's just sitting there with his little toy trucks and his little, I think it was a fire truck, and he was playing in the kitchen, on the kitchen floor. And we go in there, and we're like, "Did you hear that?" And the door is locked. He can't reach it. He's too little. He can't reach the lock. It's one of those little locks at the top. He's 4 or 5. He can't reach it. And we're like, Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was just about to come get you guys to see if you heard that too." And we were like, "Yeah, we did." And I don't remember if we went down there to check it out because we were too scared, but I'm pretty sure we probably opened the door crack and we turned the light on and looked down there. And we didn't see anything or hear anything else, but we were too afraid to go down there. That I remember, because I know if I heard that, I would not go down there. This is years and years ago, but we might have woke up my mom, to try and ask her if she heard anything or try to tell her about it, but nothing came of it, So we just let it go. We just ignore it. And so fast forward to maybe a year or so ago, I had this dream, and it was the scariest dream that I've ever had in my entire life, and it was so vivid, and I can still remember it perfectly to this day because that's how real it felt. So in my dream, we were in this house. It was me and that friend. I think we were at my age now, but it was me and my friend that was in the crawl space with me when we found those things. So we were hanging out in my kitchen in the dream, and I realized the tiles of this kitchen and everything. I was like, it looks familiar, and I started catching on. I was like, this is my house that I grew up in. So I was just like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm guessing I'm just gonna go with it. And then I guess we were deciding to go outside, or because the back door was, you open the basement door and then there was the back door, and then there's like a landing of steps, and then there's another landing of steps, and then you're in the basement. That's pretty much what I seen in my dream, just like the house itself, like in real life. So I opened the door, and we were gonna, I think, no, okay, I remember what happened now. What happened in my dream was, the basement door was open, and my friend, she wanted the door to be closed. She was like, can you close the door? It's like weirding me out. Can you just go close it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't think of anything of it, of course. And I went over there to close the door. So I'm closing the door. I'm like at an angle. I see the back door. And then as I'm closing it like this. And as my eyesight goes straight down the steps to the floor landing, to the end of the steps on the floor of the basement, I see this girl. Oh, I just got chills. I see this little girl. She's this little blonde girl. Her skin is gray. It's like pale, but it's gray. She's wearing a dress, and it's black and white. Remember those black and white striped buttons that I was telling you about? That, when I put those two things together, that freaks me out. Because I'm just like, I didn't think about this or talk about this for years. Like, how would I have had this dream randomly? This girl's just looking at me. The face expression that she gave me, it was so straight and just like she was looking right through me. Like, she was looking at me like, why are you here? Like, she was wondering what I was doing in her house. That stare. I felt my heart racing so fast. I didn't want to react in my dream. I didn't want her to know that I seen her. I remember I just slowly closed it as slow as I could, without making it look like I was alarmed that I've seen something. But I remember she was wearing a black and white dress, and it was kind of like poofy a little bit, like ruffled on the bottom, and it had like a weird design pattern on it. And she just had blonde hair, and it was just like, probably like to here. I don't remember if it was in pigtails or not, but all I can remember is her dress and her face. Like, the face expression that she gave me freaked me out. So she was staring at me, closed the door, and I lock it. It's like freaking out, like a panic attack. And I'm like, there's something, like trying to tell her there's something in the basement. I seen a girl in the basement, and I couldn't get out. And she's like, why are you freaking out, girl? And like, my heart starts just racing, like beating out of my chest, and I'm just so, I'm like sweating, I'm like freaking out. I go into my parents' living room to tell them what I just seen, and I'm like and everybody's trying to calm me down, and they're like, what's wrong, like what's going on? And I'm like trying to get out that there's this girl in the basement, but I'm so scared that I can't even speak. And then I wake up. And when I woke up, all I can picture in my mind was that girl's face. And it just, to this day, I'm just like, that had to be, when I look back on everything, playing with the toys, that black and white striped button, the weird vibe in the basement that I got. And sometimes I still have dreams about that house, and whenever I do, it's always that back room in the basement. Nothing else. I guess that's the first story for my old haunted house that I grew up in from 6 years old to 13. I'm glad I don't live there anymore, because that place was creepy. I don't even know who's living there now or if they have anything going on there, but I think about things and I just put them together while she was playing with the toys at night and the humming in the vent. It just makes me wonder. So, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe because there's a lot more in store and I have a lot more spooky stories to tell you. So, stay tuned. And I will see you guys in the next one.